this world that we're living in, there's so many people wondering how we ever hope to clean up all this mess that we've made. There are people dying in the street, little babies with no food to eat. Sometimes it seems we should accept defeat, but this won't make us fall. There is still one man we can call. Danny DeVito, the one that we need, oh. You're the one who can turn this all around and lift us from the ground. I know you are my hero. You're the one who has come to save the day. We need you more than words can say. Yeah, this one chubby little man has the power in his hand to heal the divide and bring peace to this land. Doesn't matter if you're left or right, we know that Danny is our guy to help us put our differences aside. We can trust in this man, put our lives in his hand. I know Danny DeVito, the one that we need, oh. You're the only one who can crack this egg. I'm down here on my knees, I beg, from zero to hero. It's time for a new orange fat old man, but this is one we all can stand. Someday you'll leave this world behind, and on that day the world will cry. And this is why Danny DeVito, wearing a Speedo, this image will unite us all. With Danny we will never fall. Who needs De Niro? This is a face we all can trust. Oh Danny, won't you come save us?
Well, good night. How's everybody doing?
Doing
What?
great. How are you?
I'm good. What a beautiful Tuesday night. What a great night. Just to chill out a little bit, have a little discussion, and I'm ready to kick the week's butt. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to.
Sure.
I'm ready to show who's.
I'll be ready by the end of the week.
Yeah, I was all right. Like we're launching Rift Riders this weekend, this Friday.
Ooh.
Yep, that's a big step. That's a big thing going on.
Also, when does it launch?
Friday night.
Wow.
Friday night on Bancroft show.
Good for you.
Yep.
It's gonna be a good time. So yeah, we've still got a little bit of work to do to campaign, just to, finalize some things, but I'm ready to get this thing going. It's a good book. I wanted to have it out last year, but I don't know, man. Somebody got sick and dropped the ball.
Yeah. I heard your artist got sick.
Yeah, well, I'm not the artist. I'm not the artist on this one. We got a way better artist than I am on this one. You got Dillard. John Dillard's doing the art on it. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
the dude's sick. Yeah. In a good way, not in the way I was.
I was about to say, oh no.
So yeah. Right. So it was a year ago today.
Wow.
They put me under. I was in the hospital for 14 days. Wasn't getting any better. And so finally they were like, look, it's gonna have to happen, and I agreed to do it, and so they put me under. Yeah, they put me to sleep in my big nap.
Yeah, I remember getting a message from you, and man, I was like praying for you and really scared.
Yeah, it was scary, and it was kind of crazy times, but we are past that now.
Yep.
We're deep into recovery now, so now it's time to get back to business and get some things done. Man, there was so much I wanted to do last year before the end of the year, and I didn't get any of it done. Obviously, I mean, so Rift Riders was one of those things that I wanted to have done and out, but we couldn't do it. Because I got sick. Now, I found out Miss Rena got a hold of me a couple of weeks ago, and she said, "Hey, I found there's a campaign on Kickstarter. The comic book is called Rift Riders." She goes, "You might have to change your name." And I said, "Oh, I appreciate you finding that." But that campaign came out November, December of 2021. And I said, the very first Rift Rider story was actually published in August of 2021. So it was in the Arrow Comics release of Hybrids #1. It is the backup story there. So different artist, different colorist, but the same story, same words. So it's the same thing. We're just revamping it for the release. So pretty excited about that.
Cool.
So Piper, what you been up to this week so far? Nervous laughter.
Yeah. I've been doing lots of drawing.
Yeah.
And cramming more tutorials on Clip Studio. And then it's one of those that no matter like how much I watch or whatever, I'm still just figuring it out on my own for the most part is what it feels like. So I'm just like the past couple of days learning that, this would have been a lot faster if I had known this stuff that I figured out now when I started.
Yeah.
And I'm like, crap, now I want to go back and fix what I already did now that I know like how to make it better.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I think I'm going to do, because I'm kind of the same boat with you, Piper, that as I've learned Clip Studio, I've learned like, oh, there's little tricks and tips and things like that, like these little shortcuts that I didn't know were there, or things that the big one for me was perspective rule. Like it's like, it's such a powerful tool to have, which is we don't have it on Photoshop. There's not that equivalent on Photoshop. But I was like, I had the hardest time getting used to it. And I'm still learning a couple of things. Like, I'm trying to figure out a 1-point perspective, but with like raising the camera up or down. Because I don't need the 2-point perspective. I need the 1-point perspective in the distance, like looking down a road, but bringing the camera up and looking down as I'm going down the road. So I got to.
So does it automatically give you the planes that you're looking for?
Kind of, but it doesn't. So you can do 3-point perspective, which gives you the 3rd point up or down. So I've got to figure out like the workaround for that 2nd point. Like, where do I stick that thing? Like, where does that thing go? And so that's what she said. Where do I stick that thing? So I got to figure that out, and then once I get that figured out, then I'll, But what I want to do is I think once I get all the things figured out, I'm going to do a deep dive tutorial, and not like the ones that are out there, because all the Piper, I don't know if you're finding this out, but all the tutorials that are out there are basically useless.
Yeah, it's somebody talking and doing something really fast, and they're basically like, but they're talking about other stuff. Like,
yeah,
they'll go on tangents, and I'm like, I like the ones that at least, I guess now you can timestamp and then label your stuff in chapters,
Well,
and I'll do that to skip around to what I need. But I'll still get there, and it will still be like, so don't make this mistake and blah blah. I'm like, oh well, okay,
too
but
late.
what do I do instead? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Like one of the things that I noticed was like it'll tell me what it can do instead of telling me how to do it.
yeah,
Like
yes,
I know what it can do, but how do I freaking do that?
right. I keep
Show
watching
me
people
that.
do it
Show
on
me that bit, yeah.
YouTube. I know it's possible.
It's like show me that bit. Just shut
How to
your
use it
mouth.
in different
Show me-
scenarios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think once I know it a little bit better, certain things I'll do little quick things where I just go in and just show you, like, it can do this, but here's how you make it do it. Like, here's how you use that tool practically on a comic book page, because there's a lot of things that just
Yeah.
you want to try to find that practical way of using it.
But so how fast is the colorist again?
Well, it needs a couple days. So we're not running the last second. Tick tock, tick tock.
We might run a last second. I'm gonna warn you now.
We got Blue here. Welcome, Blue. It's nice to have you here. We got Wise Guys Entertainment. Wise Guys.
Okay.
We've got Forest Publishing. What's up? Good to have you here tonight. We got a few more people that are watching and from the different locations we're streaming to. So please feel free to drop in the chat and let us know that you're here and be a part of the conversation. So Todd, what's your week been looking like?
Oh, yeah, just so comic book wise, I've been working on a 12-page Ashcan. So I trying to get that out before my full book, so I can show that I've got some work done. So I've got all the art done, all the coloring done on that, and I'm reworking some of the dialogue. So I've been working on that this week.
I actually finished up 10 pages.
Nice.
Not all this week, but finished up the last of the 10 pages for that Chrome Dog Ashcan we're doing.
Oh,
So
nice.
got the art done for that. Still have a character design to finish wrapping up the first round sketch on. And yeah, still got I got a few other things I'm doing. But yeah, it's been a productive week so far. We have 100 some packages ready to put in the post tomorrow morning. So
You got your
exhausted.
production team going.
Yeah, I got the stone soldiers going. My little the minions.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not so fast at packing these things anymore, but my wife and daughter, and we even got my son going at it a little bit the last few days and really getting it going. But yeah, so everything.
That's great.
I was just waiting on printing the books to show up this time, and so I get nervous because I get antsy and anxious because I promised these at a certain time, and everybody's been very gracious. They understand that there's hiccups with the printer and that kind of stuff and supply chain stuff, and so
Yep.
they've been really good about it, But there's always those people out there that they're just trying to find. They're trying to find issue with anything and everything they can. In fact, that's kind of their thing, and have beef, which is what we're going to talk about tonight. So, what a segue. It's all,
Plane landing back there?
believe it. Well, yeah, there's a airport. There's a airport on one side, and the Navy, and the Navy base is just over me on the other
That's what it
side.
sounds like.
So yeah.
Where's the beef?
Beef.
Love it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some beef tonight. So, every week we try to have some kind of a discussion that is worth having, worth being a part of. And this week, there's been a lot that's been going on in social media and even media lately. That's been kind of crazy. We're just going to bring up some of these things. But so tonight's thing is selling controversy. It's can you make the bacon without causing beef?
Yes, but can you make it spicy? That's the
Bacon.
question.
Oh well, you can make it spicy. You can make it spicy
Without beef?
without. But here, I want to clarify that there's a difference between dealing with like culture wars and responding to kind of oppressive behaviors and thought patterns.
See, your actions have consequences. When you oppress people, they rise up in a fiery anger.
We're not talking about that tonight. Really, what we're talking about is the cycle of drama, or what I call the circle of chaos, that seems to just hover around people, and that there's like these like a wake of bodies. You know, there's like busted relationships, jacked up, and it's always like a fight. Like if you go to their channel, it's like there's always some controversy going on, right? So it's no, we can talk about bits and pieces of this, kind of really whatever we want to talk about because it's our show, and you know, if you don't like it, you can turn it off, or you can suck it, or you can do both. But that's how it works. We got Mo Biggs here. Hail Mo Biggs, what's up?
Oh, snap.
It's good to have
Moby.
you in the chat, man.
Hey,
It's
Mo.
good to have you in the chat, yeah. Hail Piper and Todd. You notice he doesn't hail me.
Oh.
Some sell controversy well, and not so well. But controversy attracts, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I want to talk about tonight. Is this, you know, you see these people that like their whole sales model is some kind of controversy. Oh, he hailed me first. Thank you.
Oh.
Appreciate that. Oh, he did. I see that.
Fake news.
Way up there.
Fake
Hashtag fake
You read
news.
it.
Yeah, like their whole sales model is like they're okay. So there's and I don't necessarily want to name names, but you know me. So back in the day, I was working with this one creator, and he started having a beef with another creator, and they decided to take it to Facebook Lives and like start calling each other out, right? And I was like, you guys are wasting your entire load on Facebook Live. You should be taking this to YouTube. That's where the real beef should be done, right? So
Don't fight on Facebook. Fight on YouTube.
yeah. Look at Luke trying to stir up drama. Object lesson. Yes, it is, Mo Biggs. Object lesson. So here's the deal. When they got into that beef, with that fight with each other, I was like, I was pretty close with one of them. I said, dude, you should just stop engaging. I said, clearly this other guy, let's just call him Harry, okay? Harry has a book that every time he has a campaign, I know when he's getting ready to crowdfund, because he has some kind of drama with somebody. Well, it does rhyme with Gibbs and Marcel, but it's not this time around. It's Gibbs and Harry, who writes a book that sounds like Ryobi. I'm about as subtle as a jackhammer sometimes. But anyway, so I was like, look, don't engage. Every time this person has a campaign, they start some kind of, they stir up something, you know, because, you know, there's a lot of, you know, rage backing and things like that, you know, and so they kind of circulate this kind of drama with each other, you know, and I'm like, you know, it's kind of stupid, you know, but I think it's almost like clockwork. You know, if someone says, oh, they've got a campaign coming out in, you know, a couple weeks or whatever, a couple months, then sure enough, they've got beef with somebody. And I think we've seen it work so many times Oh, the SJWs are trying to cancel me, so you got to back me. Oh, the CG guys are attacking me, so you got to back me, because backing me gives the CG guys a finger, you know. Or if you buy my book, we're, you know, culture war or whatever, right?
Sticking it to somebody.
Sticking it to the man. And I'm like, it's like, man, it's very homoerotic with all the sticking it to the man that's happening around here.
So the problem is if you're pushing these arguments and that's all you can do, then, you know, the next time your campaign comes out, you don't have anything to stand on. You have to like up the ante. You have to go and cause another argument, or you have to go and find something else to argue about. If you don't have, you know, a true way to market your book other than, you know, getting people upset and riled up.
Yeah. Well, let's think about like how many YouTube channels that are massive YouTube channels. How many of them are built on controversy?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? I love Eric July. I love his. I mean, he speaks to me. The dude's like a, you know, a libertarian that don't give a fudge about nothing, you know? I'm like, yeah, of course, that's like right in my wheelhouse. I love that, right? But that's a bit of controversy that goes on there, right? You know, people like tune in. People tune in to see what he's going to say, you know, and like what's going to happen. And, you know, some people are backing him right now because, you know, it makes people mad. And other people are like, you're only backing him because of the, you know, because of his political views or whatever. Why you're buying his comic shouldn't matter. That's up to you. That's your thing, right? But I can't think of a lot of, you know, like Nerdette's channel. How is that not built on controversy, right?
Yeah.
And what's that guy? Is it not Thinking Critical? It's the other guy. There's another guy. All they do is whine about. I think some of these people, the only reason they have a channel is because they gripe about conservatives griping.
Yeah.
And I think some people only have a channel because they gripe about SJWs being SJWs. But what the hell do I know?
So then my question is, if they didn't have an audience to, you know, pull that and to support it, would they continue to do that? So there's an audience out there for it.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, it causes channels to grow. It causes, I mean, it gets super chats. You know, so there's a bit of issue going on. Tug took some. Apparently, I'm in this group. I don't know how the information gets out and where it goes out from, but something was talked about in a private group. You know, details of that weren't brought up anywhere else made it to social media where it didn't belong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just for that specific purpose, yeah.
It doesn't belong there, right?
Nope.
So here's an example of real world issues happening from the cycle of controversy and beef going back and forth. I think, you know, when you get to a point where it can't, Todd, you said it just right, like where does it go? Like it always has to go up, you know? Right. Where does it stop? Yeah. And I think when someone's real life is impacted in a negative way because of it, this gay ops thing, now I'll tell you what, I've never in my life heard of gay ops before comic books. I mean, we've got grown men arguing over cartoon characters so much to the point that they're engaging in a thing called gay ops.
Yeah.
Tell me again how we're winning. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
At some point, it's got to stop.
Right.
Or, I mean, it's when it bleeds into the real world and it has real life consequences.
Right.
People gotta know where those boundaries are.
I think there's certainly a difference between that and the culture war. Now, I'll say this. I think the culture war we lost a long time ago because we didn't know we were fighting one. Now we know something's going on, so we're pushing back with it. But the culture war, I think, has been lost, especially in most media, most entertainment avenues at this point. Like, we are, if you have a conservative viewpoint, you're long gone. They've labeled you an ist and a phobe, and you're gone. Right? And, because you think the way you do, now you're a hate group. And,
Yeah, you get the same treatment that they don't want you to have.
Yeah. It's insanity, I think, is what's happening here. Now we have to, it's like I was saying, it is it's different from the culture war, okay?
Right.
But this people, like, if we're really in a culture war, then why are we beefing with each other? Right? If we have similar viewpoints. Like, we shouldn't be beefing with each other, right? Like, we should be trying our best to, to address the situations in the culture that need to be addressed in the culture.
You would think so. So if your sales are 5,000 and then you create a beef with another creator and your sales go up to 10,000, what do you do?
I guess you just keep beefing.
Yeah.
I guess you just keep beefing.
I mean, if your end goal is, money in the pocket.
Yeah. I mean, but is that the reputation that you want?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it is. Maybe that's exactly what you want. Maybe that's exactly what you want people to think of you. Maybe that's exactly the brand that you're trying to create. And I mean, we all know people that do it. Yeah. I think we all consider and name probably 5 people that the majority of their channel, the majority of their sales tactics, the majority of everything that they are about is about chaos. It's a circle of chaos.
Yeah.
And but here's my question: Is it possible to make a living or make a name for yourself in comics without engaging in this on either side of it? Because just as much as you've got people, fighting the SJWs, you've got the SJWs fighting the CGs, and you've got people that, will virtue signal and tweet for clout. We just saw it, today. They told me to go F off or whatever. I was like, dude, shut up.
One.
Like, shut up. Just go kick rocks, man. You're being stupid.
They got picked apart pretty quickly because they're like, there's very clearly they left in the fucking image the fact that, sorry, pardon my French, I'm tired. I can't.
That's a very interesting form of French you have there.
I learned it in 4th grade.
Fun dialogue.
I was sheltered. The other kids learned their French in like kindergarten, but they left the rest of the message. It was very obvious that they had engaged this person first.
Yeah.
And from what people were piecing together, they're pretty sure he approached this person and asked if he could promo his book on their stream or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then they asked, they were asking him some questions from the sound of it. And then they asked how they felt about Comicsgate. Assuming that, they were a Comicsgate channel.
Yeah.
So they went into their tirade about, Comicsgate being crap. And I would be like, well, then fuck off. Like, I'm not going to promo your book. You just called me a bunch of shit. Like,
yeah, you're definitely not getting promoted. So we actually had somebody contact me about wanting to promo their book on NerdCap, right? And so I asked, I said, so I mean, how do you feel about a Comicsgate audience? You know, and they're like, well, I don't, you know, well, I'm not Comicsgate. I said, well, Comicsgate people don't care if you're Comicsgate or not. They only care about whether you're a cool person and whether or not your book is good or not.
Yeah.
So if your book's not crap and you're not a complete trash garbage person, then yeah, they're gonna be fine with it. You know, the problem, I've never met anybody in the CG realm that's had a problem with somebody that's not CG, unless they're like a complete D-bag, right? But the opposite is almost always true. That if you're on the other side, like, no, like automatically they paint you with this brush or whatever. And it's ridiculous. Like, all the hate that I've seen in my 3 years of being around CG people has always come from the tolerant left, you know. And so,
Right?
Yeah. Wise Guy says, I wonder if that's actually working for them. This whole
It is.
building
That's the
controversy.
sad thing is it is. They wouldn't be doing it if there wasn't something, if they weren't benefiting. Because I don't know, man. The drama is stressful. I don't care what end of it
yeah.
you are on. Well, I get it's stressful. Definitely being on the ass end, I guess, being that one. But Forrest says that was them. The was that?
That was you? Dude, I'm sending you a link.
Yeah, that was really you, Lynn. Yeah, dude.
Here. Links in the chat.
Oh snap!
Pop in, man. Pop in. Mo Biggs wants to know if he doesn't have a wrench. Luke denies Mo a wrench. Payback for hat critiques. It could be.
Oh snap!
It could be. But I believe if you check that you do now actually have a wrench, because this is actually the first time you found your way into our comments on the Luke Stone Studios channel. So,
Oh snap!
yeah, some more drama.
I
Yeah, that's about.
legitimately, I can't remember if he's a good mod or not.
I honestly, I don't care. Everybody gets a wrench. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it sounds like my tweet.
I was gonna say one thing. Because of I don't know, there was some big drama milking going on. I don't remember if I actually see you do mod things. I just remember the insults.
Oh, the insults and the jokes are the best part.
Yeah, I was like, I remember
that's
the
like-
trolling.
that's really
I
what
don't remember if you do mod. If I've seen
Every
you do
good
mod.
mod should be on top of their troll game.
I
So
just think that it should be like the mods should troll at least the owner of the stream, if nobody else. Yeah.
right? Yeah.
With
So
weird shape.
So you said the other day, like you'd made a statement on Twitter about how garbage people get promoted for being garbage people.
Yeah, and that's the whole drama. The people that are just doing nothing but that, or they actually are awful people. If they make being awful people entertaining, then they're getting ahead just by being an awful person that other people like to just watch the train wreck. And I got a couple of, I actually got a good handful of people giving me the same answer. And it was, if you already have fuck you money, then it doesn't matter how you look.
True.
And the biggest people that love to stir or at least find and put on display, whatever, showcase drama, a lot of them do. They have fuck you money.
They have FU money, man. They really do.
It doesn't matter. Like they still promo their books the whole time.
Yeah.
But at least like one of the biggest ones I know, he doesn't need the money from those books. Like just selling the books is, for funsies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for me as a creator, I try to stay away from drama. I can't stand,
Yo, what's up, Luke?
a
What's up,
world.
man?
Hey, Richard. I can't stand a world where there's fighting or conflict all the time.
Yeah, who can live like that, right?
Yeah.
I can't.
Like, who can live like that, you know?
It stresses, dude. It stresses me out
So-
too much.
So I hesitate to talk about it on the air. So we'll try to talk about it. I mean, we're all going to know, our audience will know who we're talking about, but randos don't need to know about this. Okay, so I'm not going to mention his name. But this circle of chaos that takes place caused somebody that we know in the circles that we're in to consider taking their own life. Because it crept into their real life. Now, I know there's people that are gonna they will even call that into question. Like, well, is that even real, or is it, sympathy chasing, or, or is it this or that? Dude, I don't know. Okay, but my point is, human life is way more important than internet clout.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And at some point we got to be like, you know what? Screw politics. Screw these stupid things, and let's be decent human beings, right? I can't live a life that's constantly wrought with chaos and conflict. I can't do it. I just can't. That's just me, though.
Yeah, I would just quit.
Oh, okay. There's Mo doing mod thingies. Yeah, I guess Mo does mod things.
Happy Dinosaur.
Hey, Happy.
Welcome, Happy Dinosaur. Happy
What's
day to you.
going on, Happy?
Luke,
Howdy.
Richard, and Todd. It is great to have you here tonight. We were just talking about whether it's possible to bring home the bacon without causing beef.
Yeah, I think people can do it, but they have to be real creative, have insight, and not just sound like they're complaining. Like Eric
Thank
like super well. He just contributed really, really well because he's creative, has insight, and you're hearing the argument, but he's putting it with a different spin and perspective and that you can identify with and you relate to. So when you relate to him, you rally.
Having a little trouble hearing you, Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? A little better.
That was worse.
Oh, dang. Now, am I worse? Am I still worse?
Oh no, you're better now.
A little
You're
bit
better
better.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me go on speaker. So, yeah, but I was saying, Eric,
Nope, we're losing you again, man. I really can't hear you. So I feel like you got something good to say, man.
I'm gonna
Fix your
type
microphone.
it up. I'm gonna type it up, but I think it's my internet. So I don't do it.
All right, yeah.
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 So I'll just type it up, put it in chat, and enjoy you guys in the crowd.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, thanks for jumping in. Yeah. So there's like all this like going back and forth, like this internet clout stuff. The people try to go for, and controversy. But that's the thing. I think controversy does sell to a certain extent. But I mean, does that wear out the backers? Does that wear out the customers? At any point, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think
I would
at-
hope.
at,
never
some
seemed to,
point
though.
you're going to have to keep upping the ante, and they get desensitized to this particular drama, so you have to create a new set of drama or something else to keep that edge going. And yeah, I think at some point you lose control, like we said earlier, when it bleeds over into real life.
Yeah.
And I think at the end, I think it just hurts.
Yeah. So it's like I used to only expect like kind of that kind of behavior from indie folks, right? Like these little like the crabs in the crab bucket, But you're starting to see people like Mark Brooks engage in this stuff now, where he's always got a beef with somebody, and
Yeah.
everything that happens gets blown way out of proportion, and then all of his little yes men come around like, yes, CG bad, yes, conservatives bad, and they kind of just echo each other and like, cheer each other on. But we got the same thing that happens in Comicsgate too. You got all these people that are over there, and they're just cheering each other on, and love engaging in the internet battles back and forth. Just this kind of stupid chaos there. But the writer that wrote Sun Spider, the new paraplegic lesbian spider person, right? I was looking through their tweets, and literally 90% of the stuff they tweet is outrage tweets about how somebody doesn't like their work because they're X, Y, or Z. Okay?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's how they make the bacon anyway. I think that's the only way they can. In a lot of cases, in those cases, it's probably the only way they can. They know they don't have a good product.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, let's use that as a qualifier. What if the only way to sell a subpar product is to cause controversy around you or your product to sell it?
Well,
Then it's subpar.
I think you're in the wrong field then.
Yeah.
But then why do so many people use outrage and controversy to sell their comics?
So I think there's a difference.
They're all in the wrong
because of
field.
The type of group that CG is, it was based on taking a stance and separating yourself from mainstream. So it's when you get to the point where you keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that, at some point you get away from producing just to produce. You get caught up in saying things just to cause controversy or just to be separate from. And I think some of these people have based their business on just that idea that I'm fighting against something. You always have to be fighting against something.
Yeah. So let's talk about this Eric July thing for a minute, because people are saying that his book's only selling because he's controversial. Now, he's controversial, but his book isn't. Okay. Like when you hear him pitch his book, it's just about a story that he wants to tell. It's not like a stick it to the SJWs. It's anti-woke. It's not like he even says anti-woke at all when he pitches his book. Now, there are some people, like, that is their pitch. Like, oh, here's another anti-woke creator. Somebody pitched me that way. And I'm like, you don't need to qualify me as an anti-woke creator. I'm a freaking comic book creator. I'm a decent artist and a darn good writer. That's what I am.
Stories, yeah.
Yeah, I got stories to tell.
Buy my books. The easiest person to edit for. That's for damn sure.
I'm clipping that later. That's going on my.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's like I don't need a qualifier to sell my book, and I don't feel like I need controversy to sell my book. I feel like once I get it in people's hands, we're gonna translate getting a book in their hands to them becoming a fan. Like that's how I feel about it, And but I feel like we see it a lot. Okay. Now let's switch gears just for a second. Let's say we're in a culture war. Okay. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I kind of feel like we are in a culture war right now. I feel like we've lost a culture war, and we're in a culture. I don't know what you call it. What happens when you lose a battle and you try to come back and fight anyway? We've lost ground. We've lost ground for certain. But so let's say we are. Let's say it is, it's conservative. It's against SJWs. Let's say that's what it is, right? An SJW against conservative. Then why? Please tell me, why the hell are we fighting each other if we're in this camp?
Yeah.
Why? Wise Guy says perfect. Culture rebellion. We're in a culture. Yeah, we're trying to be an anti, kind of a counterculture. Nuke Stone, Culture Crusader. I like it. I'm loving it. Yeah.
It's kind of like the fighter in the ring that is just swinging at his opponent and swinging and swinging and swinging, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden the ref comes up and he's trying to calm him down, and the ref
Yeah.
gets knocked out.
Right. Right.
And you're just swinging just to swing.
Yeah. Happy Dinosaur thinks that the war isn't lost. Certain places were just enemy territory from the start. Yeah. And I think maybe that is true. I think some areas that we have lost ground on, like areas that we owned. Like, okay, so you guys know I'm a Christian, duh. If you're maybe if you're new, you don't know that, but formerly a pastor as of just a few weeks ago, and I would say that the culture had pretty much. We felt like the church was immune to what was going on in the culture. But we started to see it creep in with music, with dress, with, different things. And now, like, this really progressive culture, critical race theory, all these different things now are completely taking over churches. And so, like, an area where we thought, okay, that's immune to this stuff. It's proven that it's not. It's proven that we've lost ground there. We've lost even a bit of that. But entertainment, I think maybe it's always been kind of a realm that we haven't really ever owned. But let's say we're in a culture war, a rebellion. What good does fighting each other do? I'm waiting for an answer.
There is no answer. It doesn't.
What it is, it has been pointed out a lot. If we just talk about like amongst like Comicsgate or whatnot, it's when we don't have enough external bad guys to rally against, we start fighting each other just to be fighting.
Okay.
Because you get tons of attention when you're like, oh my gosh, this mainstream bozo is saying this mean stuff to me. By the way, I've got a book out. Let's show them my book's better. But not everybody has that all the time.
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe your book's not better.
Yeah.
Maybe your politics is different, but maybe your book still sucks too. I shouldn't be expected to buy your book based on the merit that the same people that don't like me don't like you.
Yeah, like we don't like the same people and the same kind of thing. Therefore, back my book.
Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay, but if you too don't like Gail Simone, you should totally back every book I'm on, because I actually was a fan when she went after me.
Yeah.
I was being nice and like normal when she needed attention and wasn't having any controversy, and I just happened to be the unlucky person to give her that.
Yeah. So here's the deal with that tweet. So here's the deal with that tweet. That guy did engage Richard first. He sent out a spam advertisement, and then when asked, "Well, are you cool with CG?" Right? He goes, "No," and he goes, "Then F off."
Okay, yeah. See, I knew that there was freaking some sort of context, and I get those
like
too. I will get people that just DM me a very generic copy pasted, like, it got sent to multiple people in their DMs at the same time, links to their books and their projects or whatever, or looking for jobs or support or whatever. And I just like either ignore or block. Like, I'll actually bother going to their profile to see if they're just a bot or not. And if they're not a bot, I won't block, but I ignore that because that's just rude.
Right. I mean, so there's a lot of people that just do that mass like thing, and I get contacted all the time, especially because the channel Nerd Bacon and NerdCap, and people want to come around and ask, if they can come on and chill. And again, I don't have a problem if you're not CG. But my question is, are you cool with CG? You have to be cool with the people that I'm cool with. If you're going to come around, and I'm going to use my platform, I don't have to use it to promote you. I'm building my platform for me and my circle.
Hateful people.
Yeah.
Like, it would be same, honestly, if they said, oh yeah, I love CG, but I hate, and it's like extremely racist or something like that. I'm still going to be like, that's the same as if some like diehard SJW was like, oh, I love everything but Comicsgate. They're all blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not going to promote just awful people.
Yeah.
In general.
You're going to see me promoting some stuff that like is just awesome stuff, and that is not necessarily got a hashtag to it. I don't normally use a hashtag to sell my book because, again, I don't want to be qualified as a certain kind of creator. I want my book to stand on its own merit, and that's kind of the way I am. But I guess so. Richard says he honestly got the idea from Graham Nolan because he asked me if I was CG when I invited him to come on my show. And of course, he has more class than me and wouldn't have ended the same. Of course not. He definitely has more. And Happy says they're going to be buying Rift Riders in November, December, which we are looking forward to that happening because Rift Riders is going to be a great book. It's a lot of fun. It's going to be a good time. And we've got a lot. Going on. We got a lot going on this year. Wow, so much going on this year. So right now I've got the remastered trade still still on the crowdfund. We need a couple more backers to be able to pay for that print run. So that is going. We've got Rift Riders launching on Friday. We've got Hybrids 9 getting ready to go and sign up in a couple of weeks. And we've got the Hybrids core rulebook for the RPG getting ready to go and sign up. And then we've got the Out of Obscurity anthology that we're doing. It's going to be around 100 pages of just really cool indie takes on public domain characters. So we got a lot going on this year.
Man, I want to do that sometime. I just want to put a public domain character back on the map or something.
Yeah. Well, if
I've
this
got
one
a
goes
public
well,
domain character I'm hoping to get a story done.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're looking at if this goes well, this may be something that we do every year. So we may do the Out of Obscurity anthology every year as kind of a way to help, people that don't have a lot of publishing credits get their name out there. And so yeah, like a lot of stuff. And so these are some positive methods I think of trying to sell and going around and doing different shows and, having a channel, for me, having a channel that's primarily positive. So, I mean, if you show up on on Thursday mornings, you guys know Thursday morning is just fun. It's just it's a goofball time is what it is. And so we hang out. It started out was supposed to be an hour like this show. We've never been under an hour. We've rarely been under an hour and a half. And we're usually 2 to 3 hours of just kind of silly, just chat, basically is what it is. Just silly chat about nerd stuff. And sometimes it gets serious and things like that, but we try to always have some kind of a positive spin. Because we're not a hate group, I don't hate anybody. Do you hate anybody, Todd?
No. I think it shows you don't have to put someone else down to be lifted up, or you don't have to miss out because someone else is doing well. I think we could lift each other up.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
the whole point of these groups that we're a part of.
Imagine.
Imagine.
The rising tide lifts all ships, right?
Yeah. Piper, do you hate anybody?
Do I hate anybody?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, where's my list?
right? I'm like,
I tell people-
well, hold up now. Are we just talking within Comicsgate?
Within, I don't know. I don't hate.
I
There's some people I don't
think
like.
I could say that I hate anybody. I definitely don't like plenty
Yeah.
Yeah.
people, but hate takes too much energy.
Yeah, there's some people I've blocked, but
It's nice to
I
see
don't
you
hate
happy.
anybody.
Thanks for coming by. Thanks. Yeah. I think it's at 59 minutes and 30 seconds. It is about time for us to call it a night too. And so I think there's a lot of positive ways that we can approach comic books, and this is supposed to be a thing of fun, a thing of entertainment. And I think when real world fights start to break out over these cartoons, it can get, I think maybe it has gone too far. I think when
Somebody's
people start
lost
to think,
the plot.
yes, they've lost the plot. I love that. This is supposed to be escapism. This is supposed to be fun. And when you start making it about agenda, and I'm not saying even sometimes your book may not be about agenda, but you are about an agenda. You're about chaos, and you're about controversy, and and what may have started out as simply giving an opinion has turned into a cycle of bullying. At some point, we have to say, look, you won. You destroyed the other guy. Move on. You won. Way to go. Thumbs up. But there's got to be a better way to fight the culture war than just digging in our heels and getting more entrenched in this craziness. I'll say this. So I was driving with my wife today back and forth to Georgia, and we were talking that this is no other time in history have we ever seen where more people have worshipped a president like they did Trump. That little group that, like, Trump could do no wrong, he's God's man, treating him almost like a savior, right? On
I was
one
about to
side.
say people are doing that with Biden.
Right? Right?
I haven't seen presidents trusted for no good reason as much as Biden, but you're right about, like, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's like hardcore hero worship going on, or something.
Exactly,
For
exactly.
for government. Just that does blow my mind. It does.
Yeah, that was the other thing that I was telling her. I said, but it's the same on the other side. The same thing happens there with the anti. Like, I've never seen people so deranged about a president in my entire life.
Generally, people are just like, "Dang, our dude didn't win.
Yeah, yeah.
Get him next time." Like,
Yeah, so it's like you can't find the good in, this person and find the good in this person.
Yeah.
You have to hate this person or
Right, yeah.
yeah, it's not allowed.
I'm not trying to be Switzerland over here. I'll quickly and easily pick a side, right? Yeah, I'm not trying to be Switzerland or anything, but I'm not like Kentucky. The North hates Kentucky and the South hates Kentucky because Kentucky never picked a side during one of the most important wars, skirmishes ever. I mean, come on. When I'm not even.
I just thought it
that
was
soapbox.
because we all like making fun of Kentucky. I didn't even think about that. I don't know why I didn't, but
Because
I
it
didn't.
rhymes with kin. Never mind. I think you know where I was going with that. Todd, any last words before? I always
I
say
just
last
think
words.
we
That just
need
sounds
to,
bad. Any parting thoughts? Any parting thoughts?
I like that. Any last words?
Yeah, I just think we need to, lift each other up, get along. That's it.
Build something, make something.
Yeah.
Build an empire instead of being stupid internet drama.
Yeah.
There's so much better things to be than mad online.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But this channel's not going to have the growth, and our book's probably not going to make the sales because
that does remind me of
good joke.
one
Yes, I
thing
know.
that I went and did a stream because I was just like mind blown at just how shameless promoting like this crap just because their shittiness was entertaining. And I've said it a million times, and it's why I've lost a lot of really like good friendships. Well, friendships I thought were pretty good in CG.
Yeah.
And people just don't like me for it. But I keep telling them my principles are not for sale.
Right.
If that means that I don't get as big as other people, so be it. But my principles are not for sale. That's not the same as my opinions. You come to me with information I've never heard before. I might change my opinions. That's something else. That's fluid. Yeah, that's fluid. But my principles in general, they're not for sale. And every once in a while I find out, that I'm friends with somebody or thought I was good friends with somebody and then learn the hard way that their principles are for sale.
Yeah. I think that's difficult because in an outrage culture that like we have, where controversy and fights and outrage is a currency now. Offense is a currency. Outrage is a currency. When you say, look, I'm not going to mistreat somebody. Bullying is still wrong. It doesn't matter how famous the person is that's doing it. It doesn't matter how much money you've got. Treating somebody like garbage is unacceptable. When you have those principles, it makes you pretty unpopular.
Yeah, it's sad. It makes me sad.
But it doesn't really make me sad. I'm like, it's cool. I wasn't popular in high school, and I'm okay not being popular as an adult. I understand that, that there are bigger things at play. Human life is worth more than, selling a comic book.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Mental health is more important than selling a comic book. I'm
perfectly fine with, kicking people out of my life and not having them if they're just going to create controversy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Broadcasting somebody's mental health. I'm going to say this. Doing everything you can to make life difficult for someone and then acting sympathetic towards that person having a mental breakdown just seems disingenuous to me.
Yeah.
It's like, come on,
I wasn't
guys.
sure if we were going to say it, but yeah.
It's like, how can we honestly pat ourselves on the back for doing that kind of stuff? Now, granted, there are no innocent people in many of the situations that we're alluding to tonight, okay? There are no innocent parties. If you look around, you can't have that many dead bodies laying around you and be considered a good guy. Doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
But that's the whole point that I wanted to talk about tonight. What I just wanted, and obviously we're not going to clear it up in an hour. We're not going to give answers, but maybe it's something that we can get people to think about. There's got to be a different way and a better way to conduct ourselves in this field, in this industry, and in this profession. You know, that if you look around and you've got a wake of bodies around you, you're the bad guy.
Yep.
And I mean that to everybody that looks around and they've got destruction around them. You're the bad guy. Because you've either allowed it to happen or you've encouraged it to happen.
Or you caused it straight out.
Right. Or you caused it straight out. So one of those three things, you're the bad guy.
Can I just say though, like,
Go for it.
the absolute audacity of this particular person's biggest enablers, biggest harassers, biggest whatever you want to say, biggest people benefiting from drama surrounding by this person for clout to turn around and find out through means that weren't their business what their behavior has resulted in, and not only let the entire world know when it wasn't their business and it like at all, but do that in order to get more clout from feeling sorry for saying everybody should leave the person alone and feeling sorry for the person that you specifically pushed to that situation. Just the absolute audacity. It's mind-blowing to me. I'm just, wow.
Well, here's the thing. We have this, we're going a little long tonight, but we have this problem that I've been seeing a lot of. We blame people. So someone will do something and then we will respond, right? And we blame them for our response. Well, you should have known better. It's your fault I responded the way I did. That's not how adulting works, okay?
Yeah.
You are responsible for your response. You can't choose how they're going to respond, but you can choose how you are going to respond, right? So the problem
called emotional
we have,
maturity.
Yes, we have grown men and women that will do things to someone who is clearly emotionally not well or mentally struggling, knowing that they'll put them in a situation that's going to be hostile. They'll put them in an environment that something negative is going to happen because, this is going to be fireworks, it's going to be good. It's what Jerry Springer used to do.
Yeah.
When they would, and it was, we've got people that are trying to do that now in comics and on YouTube. And what happens is you're like, oh, well, I feel really bad for them that this has happened to them.
Yeah.
You
did it.
Understood that person was going to respond the way they were going to respond when you put them in that situation. And you did it anyway.
Yep.
You did it anyway.
So Jerry Springer did that on purpose just to get the audience cheering his name.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think just we as people got addicted to that kind of stuff because then a gazillion reality shows started. And yeah, everybody started eating that up. Mm-hmm. Talk shows weren't enough anymore.
Yeah.
Talk shows used to talk about like normal stuff. Tons of talk shows turned into that. And then we went to reality shows. We can't get enough of other people's drama.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I don't know a lot of the backstories with people and the previous drama. I don't care to learn it. Here's what I do. I look at people's history and I'll ask them, like, hey, so what goes on with this person? And if people start naming bodies, they start pointing to dead bodies, figuratively, sometimes literally, then I know to avoid them. Like, that's not someone I want in my brand.
Jimmy No Shoes is leaving dead bodies in the.
Yeah. You know, that's I have, you know, it's when I have people that are way outside of my station sliding into my DMs asking my opinion about how to deal with somebody else. I'm like, I don't understand why you're asking me that. Number one, it's not my business. And number two, you're going to do what you're going to feel is the most reasonable thing to do anyway. So, well, we don't have a relationship. How can I talk you out of anything? You know, I just don't get it. But I don't have any clout. You know, if I did,
Yeah.
if I did have clout, I would pray that I would use it for good. that I would be worthy of the clout that I had. Like, that's what I would want to do. I think about people that are like that. I think about Aaron Lopresti and Graham Nolan. I think about Shelley Lopresti. I think about Don Chen. You know, I think about these people that are good at their core, you know, and they are kind. And they want to do things better. I saw Shelley, you know, post very similar about this stuff. That, you know, why are people having 3 to 6 hour streams just creating more chaos around people and situations that don't need to be there.
They could be having those streams creating comics and showing people.
Yeah.
Showing people
making something awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're trying to do here in our little corner of CG. Piper, any last parting thoughts for our audience?
Send help.
Piper's got art to finish.
Yeah. I underestimated how long this would take. That's my bad. Between my hardware being very outdated, so like just drawing the lines is slow. But then getting stuck and not knowing how to do something I thought I knew how to do and having to like try to look it up or figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things always take me twice as long as I think it's going to.
I've given spoilers real quick though. I tried to make Lunos hot.
Nice.
Not inappropriate hot, just like
he could be hot. I mean,
I want him to. Yeah, I want him to show like that he's not just a.
Oddly enough, you can't try to make Israel hot because that's like pedo.
Yeah.
Even though he's like in his 40s, he's 45, right? Which you don't know to start out with. I'm just giving away stuff to the story. So,
well,
screw it. Yeah. So he's like this old soul, but he's 13. Don't you make that 13-year-old hot?
No, I didn't. I put him in stuff that's too big for him because I love doing that.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. So we're launching this Friday night on Bancroft's channel. We need to raise $6,500 to make this project happen. It is a fixed goal. My last campaign we had about 100 backers on. A little over. So at that range we need to have backers. We need to get about an average bank of $65 per backer at about 100 backers, or we need to have like 400 backers. So I'm the analytics guy. That's what I do. I think in those terms.
I hate doing that part.
Yeah, I think in those terms. So I start trying to calculate, what we can do to make this a feasible thing to happen. I haven't had.
You should just go for 500. Just make it even.
500?
Yeah.
Backers?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's do it. But, I try to, I've not had a campaign not fund yet. This is the first campaign, though, that I've done, where it is where we are actually raising the money to pay for production, and that production is not already done. So this is the first time that we've done that. And so that is makes me a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie, makes me nervous because
I'm super nervous. This is my first my name on something, not as editor, but also my first campaign since Peregrine, and unfortunately, I still get blamed for stuff that was out of my control on Peregrine. So that makes me super nervous about all of this is gonna attract the meanies, big meanies.
Well, the truth is, I try to do everything I can to for the backers, for the fans.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for the meanies. If the meanies want to come out, chances are they weren't going to back us anyway. And so I just kind of move on from that. But I am looking forward to
Yeah,
this
I've seen some of the
project.
pages, and you guys, you got a good product.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to go a long way.
I hope
I'm
so.
freaking excited. I think we have a pretty cool team.
Yeah, it is a cool team. I mean, everything's coming together for it. I'm glad that it didn't happen last year because it allowed for a couple of key changes. The colorist change, I think was the biggest one for me. Nothing wrong with the other colorist per se. The biggest issue with him is that we could not use his name, and he would not promote the book because he didn't want to jeopardize his standings with the possibility of getting any jobs for the big two, which he had worked for before. Not being able to work for them again because of a CG connection. And
Which I understand, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I'm well, I don't want to work with people that are
ashamed
of that. Yeah.
of our audience,
Right.
And that was
Yeah.
a big one, So it was like, I wanted to work with somebody that was going to be happy to help engage and sell and be here for the audience and get to know the people because they deserve that. I think anybody that jumps on and any one of our books comes on to be a part of what we're doing, they deserve our gratitude and our
Yeah.
engagement, I think, I don't know if you guys know who Julian Smith is, but he had this this video where he made hot Kool-Aid. And in the end of that video, he yells, "I made this for you!" And that kind of is like that thing, like on my thing. I made this for you, Rift Riders is for you, for those that are watching, for those that are backing. It is for you, and we want you to be excited about it, just as excited as we are about it. And so we're doing everything we can to make it awesome. And we wanted a team that was going to do the same thing, And so it just felt like the right thing to replace the colorist. And I don't regret it at all. And I think the look and feel of the book grabbed that sci-fi look a little bit better. That Doctor Who feel, a little bit better. So the colorist he got the idea better. And it looks great. The new pages, you'll be able to see those on the campaign when we launch. We're not going to show everything that we've got, but we will show a good deal about what we've got. The campaign, the body is, we're not going to make this thing long for people. We're going to be short, sweet, to the point, and we're going to have just a few tiers so that we're not overwhelming you. We just want to get this book in your hands. So we want to make it simple. We're going to try to have, concise pitch and just let you guys decide for yourselves if you want to help support it. But we really do hope that you do. So that's big news for this Friday. But I do encourage you to come back and hang out with us on Thursday morning for Nerd Bacon. And we've gone an hour and 23 minutes. So it's like a NerdCap and a half is what it's been for tonight. But I think it's been a good conversation. I think, it's something that, again, we're not going to come up with an answer overnight on this. we're not going to change what has become commonplace with people, but what we can do is we can say, look, we're a part of a network that's going to behave differently than that, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to do our part. Yeah. And Piper's about to do her part by finishing that cover so I can get it to the colorist.
Yes.
Get it.
Yes.
Get it, Piper.
Yes.
Get it.
This is kind of a big deal, though. Peregrine got my first ever sketch cards.
Yeah.
And man, that's when I realized like how long it had been since I was able to just freehand draw something. This is gonna be my first ever cover art.
Oh wow.
Oh, guess
That's
what
awesome.
else is going on this campaign? I still have to work out the details, but Anthony Figueroa is doing sketch cards for our campaign.
Oh, I love that
Nice.
dude.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, I am
Figueroa.
excited.
Figueroa's
want
hooking us up
those.
with sketch cards, right? So I'm going to work out the details with him tomorrow on that. But
Nice.
man, I mean, this thing is shaping up. We've got a great metal print from Daphne Lage, who does a lot of great work. She's got actually. What's funny is she does some furry stuff too.
Oh, I need to hit her up. Just kidding.
Yeah. Don't tell me.
I mean, I've been leaning into the whole Piper's a furry thing for a long time anyway.
Yeah, you have.
That's where they took it after I was like, werewolves.
Yeah.
I love werewolves, and that makes me
I
a
love
furry,
werewolves,
so.
You're not
So
like.
that makes you furry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. Teach their own. I've no judgment from me. I'm sick of being the morality hall monitor for everybody. I'm like, yeah, do what you're gonna do. I'll just pray for you. I'll pray for you. So don't pray for me. Too bad. I'm praying for you even harder.
Too late.
I'm praying even harder for you now. Yeah. It's like I'll show you. I'll pray super hard. Daphne does not make the metal prints. She makes the art, and we make the prints. So we'll do that. And Rob found that funny. Yeah, it's like yeah, I'm pray extra hard. And yeah, so that's it's funny because none of us here are controversial figures really. We don't get mentioned too much. Now Piper, you get mentioned more than any of us on different streams. EVS actually knows who you are.
Yeah. And I
Which
used
is-
to be a fairly controversial, I'm trying to talk with these teeth, for a while. And then I got burnt out. And here I am. I don't have any clout anymore because I got burnt out from
Just
being
let it go. Huh?
controversial.
Let the clout go, man. Let it go.
Yep.
Let it go. Let's just
I
build
will
something.
also stand by another thing. Clout is a hell of a drug. I think people get addicted to it, and that's when they start selling their integrity in order to get a hit.
Ooh, that sounds like a whole other stream we could have. But we're
It
not
goes
going to
along
because
with
it's
this
an hour
one,
and 20.
honestly.
It really does. It really does. It really does. So here's what I encourage everyone to do. Try to build up more than you tear down. Leave the wood pile higher than you found it. And, be careful out there. Maybe I should play the song. Should I play the song?
You should play the song.
I like this song. It's fun.
We're going to play the song. So, guys,
Do it.
let's be careful out there.
Let's be careful out there. Let's be careful out there. We had a 187 at the 7-Eleven on the corner of 4th and Main. 2 Caucasians of the male persuasion put a bullet through the cashier's brain. Moving on, I see a 211, half a dozen 459, 2 AEWs, a GTA, and several miscellaneous crimes.